Hey. Welcome to A Place to Yap, where big feelings meet even bigger opinions. I'm your girl, Todd. This is your weekly permission slip to speak your truth, feel all the feels, and grow through what you go through. Now let's yap. This week, we're talking about something that most of us want from others but struggle to give ourselves. Accountability. Let's get into this week's affirmation. Today, I choose honesty over avoidance. I give myself permission to grow, to reflect, and to own my truth with compassion. Accountability isn't punishment, it's how I love myself forward. We often confuse accountability with blame, punishment, or being controlled, but real accountability is rooted in care. Care for yourself, your growth, your boundaries, and your relationships. It's one of the deepest forms of self respect and one of the most powerful tools for healing and forward movement. This episode matters because so many of us are in a season of self reflection, and it's time we shift the narrative from shame to self awareness. I wanted to talk about accountability. I feel like accountability is so important in how we learn and grow. And I feel like there's so many people that lack taking accountability for things and wonder why they are stagnant in life. They will not admit when they do anything wrong. They will never apologize for anything. They will be so stubborn to feel like I'm set in my ways. I'm never going to change. I don't have to change. Change is not required for me. And then they wonder why at the end of the day, they're sitting there in their misery. And it's because they don't want to take accountability. The thing I always say is, I can take an ass whooping, but can you take accountability? Because people will love when you hold them accountable for something. People love to say, "Oh, I'll whoop your ass," or "I'll beat you up," or "I'll do this to you," or "I'll do that to you." They're so ready to harm you. And it's like, okay. And when you do that, can you take accountability? It zips them right the fuck up because they can't do it. They can threaten you all day long, try to fight you, try to do all these things to you. But can you take accountability for your actions? Can you take accountability for why we're even here in the first place? Why you're here in the first place? No. And that's why it's so easy for you to sit there and threaten somebody or hurt somebody or harm somebody or be vindictive to somebody or wish harm on them, because it's easy for you to do that instead of taking accountability. And that's really sad. I have so many people that are in my family or that I come in contact with on a regular basis that it's just like, damn, when are you going to grow up and take accountability for your actions? It cannot always be everybody else's fault. It cannot always be like, oh no, because this person did this to me and this person did this to me and this happened to me and that happened to me. Okay, stuff happens to everybody. And it's not saying that you can't be a victim, because you can. But you don't want to be a victim of your own life. You don't want to stay in a situation that causes you to be stuck in a loop of insanity because you refuse to see the part that you may have played in the situation, or what you couldn't control in that situation, and what you're going to do better in the future. What did you learn from it? It's really sad, and it really grinds my gears when I sit there and it's like, people be like, oh, how do you do this or how do you do that? I hold myself accountable. I hold the people around me accountable. Even if they get mad at me for saying how I feel or saying what I want to say or being too harsh or being too blunt, I hold them accountable. If they're mad, they're mad. And I don't do it in a way where it's like I'm trying to be malicious or vindictive or hurt their feelings intentionally. It's just like, no, I'm going to hold you accountable for your actions. For you're coming to me for a reason. You're coming to me for my opinion or how I feel about something. So I'm going to tell you what I observed in the situation and where you fucked up and where you went wrong in that situation. Not like, oh, well, no, you did everything right. You did everything perfect. No, that's a yes man. I'm not going to be a yes man. No, I'm going to tell you okay, if you're wrong, you're dead ass wrong. If you did something, I'm going to ask questions. I'm not just going to have an opinion, but I'm going to ask questions. Well, what happened? Well, this happened with that. Because growing up how I grew up in a lot of domestic violence, I overthink and I overobserve. So it's like in my mind, I'm already going to have some type of conclusion. But at the end of the day, I also am going to ask questions to see if I'm right or wrong, to see if what I think I'm leaning towards is correct or it's incorrect. And there's going to be times where people lie, and there's going to be times where you could tell someone's lying, but it's like, you really lying to yourself. You're really cheating yourself. You're not cheating me. Because if you truly want help and you truly want accountability, then you're going to tell the truth. As much of the truth as you feel like somebody can handle. But when you're not telling the truth and you're just going to keep lying, it's like, you're really cheating yourself, because I'm going to wholeheartedly give you how I feel or what I think. But if you're cheating by already lying, then it's like, all right, well, I mean, you got to live with the consequences of your actions. And then when I find out, a lot of times I end up just being like, damn, that's fucked up. You didn't have to lie. You could have just told the truth. Hey, y'all. We gon' yap back. We gon' yap back. All right, let me stop playing. This week's Yap Back prompt is, what's one area of your life where you're ready to hold yourself accountable without guilt? Press play, reflect, and then yap back. I want to hear your truth. Leave me a voice note, comment, DM, or tag me at a place to yap with your answer, because healing out loud is what we do here. And that's when I take it personally, because I'm like, how are you going to come to me, ask me something, and then when I start asking questions or challenging you in any way to find the root or to find the baseline of whatever the issue is, or just to not take something at face value, people get offended. Oh, how dare you question me? How dare you ask questions? How dare you do this? Why am I supposed to just take what you're saying at face value? I'm going to ask questions. I'm curious. Where is this coming from? Well, what was the context it was in? Well, what started the conversation? Well, where was it coming from? Well, do you feel like it was coming from a bad place? Well, why do you feel like that? Well, what happened prior to this? Like, I'm going to ask questions based off the scenario, and people don't want you to ask questions. People just want you to take their side. They want you to tell them that they're right. And it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Not in all aspects. Now, I get it. If you're like, look, I'm just calling the vent and I'm just going to say that I don't need an opinion. I'm not looking for an opinion. I just want to talk. I want to vent about something. I'm still going to ask questions, but I know at the end of the day, you're not looking for a solution. Sometimes people just want to continue to have the problem. They're not looking for a solution, but they just want someone to listen to their problem. You cannot avoid taking accountability forever. Because if I can look at the trajectory of your situation and see that you've done the same thing over and over and it's with different people, then, beloved, it is not everybody else. It's you. If you've changed the places you've been, the people that you're around, and you still have the same outcome, it's you. It's not everybody else. Everybody else is not the problem. It's you not taking accountability and you not looking in the mirror to say that you're the problem. And there has been plenty of times that I have checked myself and be like, oh no, babe, it's you. You're the problem. You're the drama. Like, and it's okay to do that, because that's a part of being human. It's a part of learning and growing. I'm not going to always be right. There's plenty of times I can go on social media and I can see one post and I'm like, oh, that post is speaking to me. And then you know how many posts you see after you interact with that one post that's saying something similar or something that's telling you you're right. And then I challenge it and be like, well, I can't be that right. Like, it can't be that on. You know what I mean? Where there's not one rebuttal. There's not one person that's like, not so much. Kind of need the best of both worlds so that you can have a more balanced thought process and a more balanced thing. Like, even me and my husband, we literally argue about stuff like this, because I will say something, like I'll have a conversation about something and he automatically has formulated his own opinion, and it's the complete opposite. And it used to piss me off, because I'm like, you don't even let me finish my thought out before you already have an opinion on something. Then I started to realize, like, I need that sometimes, because of the fact that he opens up my limited perception of how I feel about something, because he'll give me a different way to look at it. Now, there's other times where I'm like, no, absolutely not. Like, there's no room for wiggle room. This is what it is. And we just agree to disagree. Everybody doesn't have to think the same way you do. Everybody doesn't have to do things the same way you do. Accountability is something that is across the board. But it's like, if you know that you're doing something dead ass wrong, and then your goal is, when somebody holds you accountable, it's like to down that person or smear that person's name or cause madness and mayhem in that person's life, because it's easier for you to cause that on that person than for you to look in the mirror and take accountability and say, damn, I need to work on this. Damn, I need help. Damn, I shouldn't probably have not done that. I apologize. I took it too far. People, their pride and their ego gets in the way and they refuse to see that they did anything wrong. It's like, oh, I'm hurt, so I'm going to hurt you more. I'm going to cause more harm. But it's like, no, you don't. I just move out the way. You expose yourself. You expose where it's like, I have a good heart and I try to help you or I try to be there for you. And then you fuck me over. You're fucking yourself over because I'm going to gladly move out of your way. And I'm going to act like you never even existed. I'm not doing anything because I'm getting something out of it. Or I'm only going to help you because I know you're going to do this for me. I know you're going to do that for me. No, of course, reciprocity exists, but I'm not set out to be like, oh, no, I'm going to do this for you because you're going to do this for me. No, I'm going to do it. And then later on down the line, if I reach out and I say, hey, can you help me with this? And you don't, I'm like, well, damn, that's fucked up. I helped you in this time of need or that time of need. And when I'm finally reaching back to say, hey, can you help me with this? You don't want to help. And if anything, you're discussing with me, even asking you. And it's like, wow, okay, well, this clearly was only a one-sided date. Now, I didn't set out to do it for that. When I finally do ask for something, you're disturbed by the fact that I even asked in the first place. Like the audacity of me asking for reciprocity. That's crazy to me. Hey, Yapsters. I love hearing you guys yap back. This week, we have a yap back from a special listener. Her name is Tweet, and I met her at my line dancing class. Shout out to Cass. On Mondays, we line dance, stepping into Mondays with Cass. Shameless plug. And this is what she had to say about confidence.
And what it do, what it do, what it do, hoo, happy Sunday. But confidence, girl, you couldn't have started it off with a better topic than confidence, because a lot of us women's, we have it, but we don't know that we have it. And, you know, that word means a lot. Like, believe it or not, like, you literally have to have some kind of confidence in a lot of areas of your life. Love yourself. When I think of confidence, though, girl, I just think of loving myself and living my life in the way that I want to, and not worrying or giving a shit about anybody else but me.
But the more I go through this human experience, the more I see like a lot of people lack accountability. And I'm not sitting here saying that I'm the above all of everybody. Oh, I do everything right and I take all the accountability. Sometimes it comes to stuff after the situation happened. I'm like, damn, I could have did this better. I could have did that better. But that's a part of me taking accountability in the fact that it's like I know I could have did better in the situation and I didn't. And then the more I acknowledge that I could do better, when another situation similar arises, I can do better in that situation because I have the experience from the previous failures to use in the future for the situation that arises. Because whenever there's a test, there's a tester. You're going to constantly be tested, but are you going to fail every time? Or are you going to take all the information that you already gained from all the other failures and use that to push yourself forward and succeed and be like, you know what, I'm going to walk away from this situation. Or I'm not going to be in this situation anymore because it no longer serves me. Or I'm not going to be around people that are it's only one sided and all they're looking is to gain, but they're never looking to give. I'm going to move away from those situations. And that is me holding myself accountable to what I'm accepting in my life. And what no longer serves me. You learn, you grow, you evolve, and you be like, I no longer want to be in this type of friendship. I no longer want to be in this type of relationship. I no longer want to be around these type of family members. I no longer want to accept this type of behavior. Especially for me, because I come from a family, I only know my dad's side of the family. I don't know my mom's side of the family. Even after she passed away, I got to know them a little bit on social media, but we've never hung out, never met in person. So it's like growing up, I only grew up around my dad's side of the family. And unfortunately for my dad's side of the family, there's a lot of alcoholics and drug addicts. And so those type of people that are around, that it's like they just want to take, or they're not happy with where they are in life. So they just try to take you down or bring you down. And it's like, I don't have the stamina to put up with that type of nonsense. But at the end of the day, I'm not obligated to it either just because you're X, Y, and Z to me. I'm not. But if I choose to put myself in them type of situations, then I also have to be accountable for the fact that I have to take what's going to come with it. And then when I've had enough, I can walk away, knowing that I've gave all that I could give. And takers don't have a time that they're going to be like, maybe I should stop. No, they're going to keep taking as long as you allow it. And I've had so many people around me in my family and in my husband's family. You'll be succeeding in life, and people take you succeeding as them failing. When in reality, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with what I want to achieve and me competing with myself and where I was last year, the year before, 5 days from now, or 5 days before. I'm not even thinking about you. You're not even on my radar. I'm truly just thinking about myself. But the people who stay stuck in their own way, they're the ones who get mad at you for, and you're like, how are you growing? How are you evolving? How do you keep bouncing back? Because I look at what I did wrong and I take accountability for my actions and I move forward and I say, okay, well, now that I'm going forward, I'm not going based off of no knowledge. I'm going forward based off of what I did wrong and where I could do better. Not, oh, this person did this to me and this person did that to me. Because there's times when we all do it. We all, can be a victim. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm going to do better for myself. And I'm not going to allow me being a victim in a situation hold me back from being successful. If you look at all these people that are doing well in life, some of them are known, some of them are unknown, they have faced a tremendous amount of setbacks. But the difference is you keep going, you don't stop. The marathon continues, like Nipsey Hussle said. You take the knowledge from your failures and your lessons, you apply it to what you're trying to do again. You dust yourself off and you try again. And then you look and say, I probably could have did this better. I probably didn't have to just go with this. I probably could have scratched that and had a couple rough drafts and then went out with this. But you learn and you grow. Nobody has a book on how to live life. You may talk to older people and they may have some regrets and what you can do to not have regrets. Everybody is living life, experiencing different things, have experienced different things. So everyone's viewpoint of life is going to be different. Just like everyone growing up in the same house is going to have a different viewpoint of their parents or their parent or how they grew up. Some may have been born when it was a struggle. Some is born later on when the person was more stable. Some was born later on in life when the person was more mature. So it's like everybody's going to have a different viewpoint of life. It doesn't mean somebody's right or somebody's wrong, and that's okay. So everybody can really learn from each other and grow. Is it everybody's obligation to grow? No, some people don't. And that's where they lack sometimes taking accountability for doing some of the things that they've done to people or some of the things that they've done in life. They're just like, I don't care. I don't want to live in the past, or I don't want to hold myself accountable. No, I did this for this reason and I don't care what anybody says. And you can't make people be accountable for shit that they don't want to be accountable for. I've just been blessed with the fact that I can be a rebel in certain situations where somebody tells me I'm not going to be nothing. Okay, I'll show you. If I'm angry about something and somebody's like, look, I'm going to live my life so you continue to be angry, but that's going to be on you. Bet. I've just always had to hear very harsh words and use that as fuel to be better and to do better and to not take it out on the people around me the best that I can, even if I have to yell, even if I have to scream, even if I have to take a walk, even if I have to listen to music and dance it out, even if I have to have a glass of wine, like whatever my vice is to get through it, I'm going to get through it and I'm just going to use that as fuel to do better. And I may have some setbacks along the way, but that's okay. That is what's going to be a part of my testimony and a part of my growth is the setbacks, is how I overcame it, is how I got through it. Is me being accountable for myself and saying, well, I could have did this better. Well, I need to work on this. I need to work on that. It's not always everybody else. What am I doing to contribute to my own victimizing, to my own setbacks, to my own struggles? What am I doing? What am I not willing to acknowledge within myself that I'm overlooking because I'm filling it with this, that, and a third distraction? Accountability and communication are going to take you so far in life because even being a people pleaser, like I am a recovering people pleaser. I used to want to be loved so bad that it was like I will stay in situations, relationships, family, anything. I just want to be loved by someone. I'm trying to fulfill all these expectations that I have of a mom or a dad or this or that in my life, knowing that that's something that at this point in my life I'm not going to have. I would always end up disappointed and wondering like, dang, this person let me down, this person let me down, that person let me down. That's on me. I can't put those type of expectations on everybody else to be X, Y, and Z to me. At the end of the day, they probably don't even know that the expectations are even there. So I'm expecting people that's going to reciprocate that's never shown that they will ever do that, that are selfish, that will always be selfish. and wonder why they're stuck in the situation that they're in, I can't expect them to all of a sudden see me and say they're not going to do it. Just like I can't expect a person who's abusing someone else get in my presence and think, oh, well, my presence is so high that they're going to stop. They're not going to stop if they don't feel like they're doing anything wrong. They're not going to stop if they don't want to, if they haven't reached that level of accountability to be like, I got to stop doing this. What's wrong with me? I need to go to a therapist, or I need to really go to God, or I need to go to a higher power and figure out what I can do to stop myself from doing this, because I wouldn't want somebody doing this to me, or I had somebody doing this to me at some point and I'm doing it to someone else and I'm continuing to hurt. I'm not breaking the cycle. I'm not breaking the chain. I'm hurting the next person. That's going to hurt the next person. That's going to hurt the next person. It's going to keep going on until the end of time, until somebody on the bloodline or somebody on the chain breaks the chain. That takes accountability. That takes looking within and stop making everyone else be the reason why you're doing what you're doing. You have to look at yourself. If you're in toxic relationship after toxic relationship, well, what traits are you going into the next relationship where you're still picking the same type of person over and over? You're dating the same type of person over and over. You haven't passed the test. At some point, you have to understand, like, okay, I'm doing this to me. I'm choosing this to me. Like, for myself, like, I remember I used to look at posts that I used to make on Facebook back in the day when I actually got on social media, and I was so negative. Like, I was negative Nancy for real. Everything in life was going bad for me. Everything in life was going wrong for me. Everyone was doing things to me, and I was just so negative. But you know what it really was? I was in a negative mindset. I was in a negative relationship. I was searching for love in the wrong places. I was putting expectations on other people. I wasn't taking things on the chin where it's like, okay, this is going wrong, but how could I do better? How could I fix it, instead of being like, oh, woe is me? Like, no, I had to start looking and being like, you got to do better for yourself. If you was friends with me back then and that's how you perceive me, I'm so sorry that you even had to experience that, because I didn't realize when you're in it and you're doing it, you don't even realize how you're being until you can look back and be like, wow, I was being so negative. I really should have chose joy, to choose hope, to choose faith, to choose happiness. But I was being negative because that's how I felt in that time. Just grounded myself to get out of that negative mindset. Like we've been talking about this whole episode, accountability for things that you've done in the past, things that you're currently doing, that it's like, I could do better in this area. Me personally, not the person who did this to me, that to me, this to me, because it's not their responsibility. It's your own responsibility to grow within yourself. It's your own responsibility to do better for yourself, and for if you have children or a significant other or whatever, but for yourself first. Because then your children are watching, your significant other is watching, and they're going to automatically start to be like, maybe I need to start looking into this. Because we all learn from each other. We're like still like childlike in a way. You know how they say children are like sponges? I feel like human beings in general are like sponges, especially if you have the eager to learn things and want to learn things. We all learn from each other, because everyone you come in contact with knows something that you don't know. Oh, you learn something new every day. Yeah, because you're coming in contact with different people, different races, different cultures, different ethnicities, kids, different things every single day. You might even be traveling to different places. So you're learning so much more. And I always say, take what's for you and leave the rest. Everything I even talked about in this episode, you might say it's womp, 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 womp. You might say it's bull. You might say who cares, but take what's for you and just leave the rest. Everything is not for everybody. That's what makes us all individuals. That's what makes us all unique. We are not a monolith. At the end of the day, everybody is not the exact same. It's not meant for us to be the same. It's not meant for us all to be exactly like the next person. We are meant to stand out. That is where you are going to flourish, is being authentically yourself. Yes, we can absorb information from others, but that doesn't mean that we're like everybody else, because the way you're going to interpret it is going to be completely different than that person. It's the same way I look at things when I do nails and I'm inspired by somebody. I can be inspired by like 5 people and I can interpret it in a whole different way, where that person might not even feel like the set even looked like what they, or the inspo that I took from them even looks the same because they're gonna be like, oh, that's completely different. But I know in my mind that's what started the idea, and I took it to where I wanted to take it, whether it's hair, whether it's makeup, whether it's nails, whether it's clothes. I took it to my own thing because you interpret it in your own way. You make it yours. I probably got off the topic, and that's typical for me. It's a hard thing. It's a very challenging thing. It's to take accountability for you. But don't be a victim to your own life to where you stay stuck. Stay stuck where you got hurt at. You stay stuck where you may have had a lack of education at. Don't stay stuck in those places, in the darkness. Don't stay stuck there. Use that time to tap in with yourself. Step out into the light and learn and grow, even if it's scary, even if you're anxious, even if it's a lot easier said than done. But if you want to stay where you're at, you already know that you're going to keep doing the same thing and you're going to keep getting the same result. You know that because you've been doing it for how long? But what if you do something different? What if instead of going left, you go right? What if instead of going right, you go left or straight? Do something different that's going to challenge you to be a better person and to be like, wow, I was so scared for nothing. Or you can do it and then you could be scared and you'll be like, well, I had every reason to be scared, but you won't know until you try. Start just one foot in front of the other, one day at a time. Take accountability for the things that you need to take accountability for so that you can grow and be a better person. People can tell you all day what to do, but you have to do it. You are in your body, you are in your life, you are in your shoes. No one else is walking the path but you. And it starts with you and it ends with you. If you take anything from today, let it be this. Accountability isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. It's choosing to tell yourself the truth even when it's hard, because your growth is worth it. You are worth it. Thank you for showing up and sitting with me today. Your willingness to reflect, evolve, and yap with intention means the world to me, and I don't take that lightly. If this episode moved you, helped you, or pulled you in, share it with someone else who's ready to hold space for their own accountability. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, or drop a yap back. I love hearing what landed for you. Until next time, keep yapping with love, honesty, and big feelings. I'm your girl Taj, and this has been your safe space, a place to yap.